Greetings, people of the world! Matthew back with you here in Overall Autism for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. It is year 2, day 14 for EDSS here in the Realm Reborn, and last time we were able to successfully complete patch 2.1 of the main story, which culminated in pursuing an Ascian clothed in white, as opposed to black like they normally are, and ultimately led to the relocation of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at long last, to their new home here in Mordona at Revenant's Toll. So yeah, we are actually stepping in the new Solar right now with Lady Minfilia, and as you can see, it's very beautiful and spacious. And we even have a fireplace over here, we have attendants to cater to Minfilia's every beck and call, and hey, I even like the chandelier too, that's really nice. But of course, we are here to continue the main storyline, so we are going to do just that. So, yeah, it's been nearly a week since I put up my last video, and the reason why that is because where I work, it's been really insane. The place that I work for has its own courier service, and a couple of weeks ago, one of our regular couriers quit his job, and I've been filling in for him. Well, it turns out it might have been a blessing in disguise for that guy, because this past week, I had the busiest week at work I've ever had. I worked over 55 hours covering his job in some of the worst weather I've ever driven in. I didn't get in any accidents, but I certainly saw more than my fair share on the roads. And right now I'm happy and grateful to be alive to continue to bring you Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn Let's Plays, as well as my other Final Fantasy VI LP. So yeah, that's a lot of craziness, but hopefully next week won't be as bad as this past week, and I'll be able to put out a lot more Final Fantasy VI and Realm Reborn videos. So yeah, it's been nearly a week. I think I've wasted enough of your guys' time. Let's go ahead and speak with Lady Minfilia to get patch 2.2 underway, starting with the level 50 challenge entitled Still Waters. Minfilia has a new assignment for you. Oh, Minfilia?
Truly, there is no rest for the weary. Scarce had I begun to make myself at home when I received the request for assistance from a Margina & Sons mineral concern. It would appear their storehouse in Horizon has been the target of a series of covert robberies.
Uh-oh.
Minor as they seemed in isolation, occasional discrepancies in the manifest were long dismissed as clerical errors. It was only during the concern's annual audit that a pattern had become apparent. Significant quantities of crystals, and only crystals, were missing.
Uh-oh. You know what that means, right? More primals.
I hardly need to tell you what that may imply.
Of course. Yeah, the look on Edie's face says it all.
The brass blades charged with investigating the thefts believe that someone within the concern is selling the crystals for profit. Alas, they have as yet been unable to identify a likely suspect, and the concern's proprietors have grown frustrated by their lack of progress. Needless to say, I would not have agreed to intervene had the stolen goods been of mere monetary value. If there's even a possibility that the thief acts not out of self-interest, but in service to a primal, we can ill afford to wait for the blades to realize their mistake. Pray depart for Horizon at your earliest convenience. Rendezvous with Ishtola when you arrive. She and Thancred have already begun a preliminary investigation. I have every confidence that the three of you will get to the bottom of these thefts. I only hope our fears prove unfounded when you do.
Well, let's hope for your sake that they are, but knowing our luck in the way that this game has gone so far, I'm not liking our chances to prevent another primal being summoned. So, back to the original home of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, Horizon. And a correction on that last thing I just said. Yeah, Vesper Bay is their original home. Horizon is just close by. So let's go ahead and speak with Ishtola. No, I said Ishtola. Yeah, come on, game, get it right.
Ah, Hedy, your assistance is most welcome. I have already spoken at length with the blast blades.
That is such a tongue twister.
I've already spoken at length with the brass blades of the rose, albeit to little avail. It would seem that the thieves took great pains to conceal their activities. I could go into further detail, but your time might be better spent in conversation with Fufulupa. He's the officer charged with leading the investigation, and I would only be repeating that which he related to me. If aught eluded my attention, mayhap it will not elude yours.
Let's hope you're right on that there, Shola. So over here we should find Fufulupa, this particular Lalafell. Hopefully he has something he can tell us.
Oh, hello there! Edie, was it? Ishtola said to expect you. Terrible business, these thefts. We have yet to confirm the quantities of crystals stolen, but I dare say it may be greater than... Ah, but never mind that, I have news to share. A short while ago, the driver of a heavily laden carriage refused to halt for inspection and broke through one of our checkpoints on the Royal Elegant Sunway. Alas, my colleagues had no men with which to give chase. However, our scouts have reported seeing a cart of the same description bound for eastern Thanalan. These could be our thieves, don't you think? We must inform Ishtola at once.
Yeah, I believe we can do that. Yeah, couldn't you just say that straight up to Ishtola? That would have saved me the trouble of having to go to you and speaking to you.
A speeding carriage? That would seem a curious choice for thieves of such proven cunning. Yet the Emulja do have a hold in eastern Thanalan. Thancred is already afield with a unit of the Brass Blades. I shall instruct him to take up a position to the east of the Beastman's encampment. Pray join him there.
And so, as you wish. To eastern Thanalan, specifically Camp Drybone. And so, once we arrive there, we're gonna hopefully find Mr. Thancred. Hopefully he's not getting himself in hot water that could lead to him being possessed by an Asian again. So yeah, he's gonna be... He is going to be... Where would the guy be? Okay, he's right down there in the corner, actually between Halatali and encampment of Emulja. So, let's get on the new mounts that I obtained a couple of days ago as far as the timeline of this Let's Play is concerned, but was actually last week. Yeah, remember the white chocobo built for 2 that I got from taking the ceremony of eternal bonding with Sakura Amaterasu? Well, now we get to ride it. And the thing is, if we want to, we can invite someone. We don't necessarily need to have Sakura coming along with us. We can take this beautiful white chocobo and ride it into any place that we want to. So away we go. And I want to show you a close-up of me riding the white chocobo, because this is hilarious. Look at my stance as I'm riding the white chocobo. I have one hand on the saddle, and I'm putting my left hand on my hips. It's like, I'm a badass riding this white chocobo. It looks so hilarious, yet at the same time so awesome. Yeah, I'm showing off how much of a badass I am riding this white chocobo. I don't need to put both hands on the harness or on the saddle to get it to go. Yeah, that's just how awesome I am. Because I'm the warrior of light who's got the ceremony of eternal bonding now. So, let's go ahead and speak with Thancred. Oh, Edie, for once it is you who is fashionably late. We seized the errand carriage and its excitable coachman not long ago. In all my years, I have never seen such a prodigious quantity of solemnness. The Blades were calling it one of the greatest... sadly not. The coachman had no hand in the crystal thefts, and judging by my survey of their encampment, neither did the Emulja. But let's discuss this in Ishtola's presence, shall we? I'll see you back in Horizon. Yeah, way to drag me out here. Way to drag me out here there, Thancred. Boo. Are you sure you're not being possessed by an Asian again? Are you absolutely certain about this? Because why make us walk all that way? Well, here's Thancred back now with Ishtola in Horizon. Against all expectation, it would seem the Emulja are innocent of this particular spate of crimes. By all indications, they have yet to replenish the stores of crystals exhausted during their last attempt to summon Ifrit. What I can't fathom is why anyone else would go to such lengths to obtain crystals, and in such quantities. It cannot be that we are dealing with simple thieves. If their motive were profit, why would they limit their trade to crystals alone? Plainly we are missing something. While you think about what it might be, I shall inform Oriange of our progress, or lack thereof. Alright. But in the meantime, we shall have a cutscene come in. So as Thancred and Edie speak at Horizon, now then. Well, before you get a chance to discuss further, on the link shell.
The situation may be more complicated than we anticipated.
And for the first time in a while, the Scions actually speak. I don't have to do the speaking for them. So, back in Vesper Bay...
Indeed, I shall remain watchful. Ere thou goest, another matter requireth thine attention. A young maiden, full eager to...
To what?
Wherefore inquirest thou of her fairness? Oh, very well. Be she damsel or devil, I shall direct her steps to Revenant's Toll. Save thine insinuations for one given to such impropriety. Thou shalt not find me amenable.
Why not? So, what's going on? Well, as Oriange has a glimpse, a ship is docked. With a trio of particular individuals. A person that's masked, and her subjects.
Far across the sea from the land of Doman have we traveled. We seek audience with the ruler of these lands. Who here speaks for you?
Yeah, Doma. Yeah, if you know Final Fantasy VI, that was the land where Cyan came from, and where all of his friends, family, soldiers, and his liege were all poisoned by Kefka. But in this game, Doma has another variation to it. And yeah, they seek an audience with the ruler, but given that these are mere peasants, they're not going to have such luck. So with that, this challenge is completed, and we can now take on the next challenge, entitled A Final Temptation. Thancred wishes to discuss how to proceed with the investigation. Any bright ideas? A solitary flash of insight? No? Well then, for a want of a better suggestion, I say we try picking Fufalupa's brain again. Who knows, if we work together, we may yet find something of use nettled away within it. Well, we'll see how this game of ping-pong keeps going. Alright, Fufalupa, back to you.
And what are the tongue twisters. And what are the brass blades of the rose? Can you say for certain that none were involved? To be honest, I cannot. I have done my utmost to purge the corruption from our ranks since Captain Baldwin was brought to justice. But if those remain, well, let's just say that there are many who once exceed their wealth. I fear the presence of a traitor would go some way to explain how the thieves' activities escaped our notice for so long.
It would be most unfortunate if your fears proved well-founded, Fufalupa.
Indeed, if for reasons self-security, the concern decided to transfer the remaining crystals stored in Horizon to another location, their plans would be discovered the moment the brass blades were informed.
But such a shipment would surely be well guarded. Would thieves as wily as ours risk open confrontation?
Mayhap not, but neither would the concerned be eager to present them such an obvious target. Nay, they may instead to elect to carry out the transfer in secret, to entrust the goods to, let us say, a lone Mikote miner, travelling without escort, so as to not attract undue attention. But who? I see! Yes, the concern may well elect to do that, but to travel with so much cargo would be a strenuous task indeed, and this miner would certainly need to rest upon the way, mayhap north of the bridge to Hammerley?
A fine spot for a rest, would you not agree, Edie? You lie in wait to the north, and I shall do the same to the south. I believe we can do that.
Forgive me, my friends, but I have received new orders. I must inform my men at once.
Oh, who gave them to you? Were you on a link show where we were having our conversation? Yeah, you always wonder how those little Lalafels can handle those big swords. Oh, you're back? And you have pink face paint on. Or is that just rouge? Call me a cynic, but I would be surprised if these thieves lay down their arms and surrender. See that you come prepared to offer them some encouragement. I believe we could do that. And thus, we've done what needs to be done here, so back on my white chocobo where I'm gonna ride like a badass through the wilds of Thanalan. Born to be wild. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. I mean, hey, why not? If you're riding like a badass, you should sing like one too. North of the bridge, I'm guessing they would say right around here, perhaps? Because this is where the destination spot is indicating. Okay, I do see Ishtola there, but I do not see my spot to stand. That is weird. Oh, here we are, hiding behind the rocks. Curse you, rocks! Standing watch, it says. Waiting to make our move. Ever so patiently. A move in the distance catches your eye. We got 2 enemies on the field. We gotta beat them up. Let's get to it. 1 and 2 and triple threats. Triple threat, baby. Yeah! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Boom, you're dead. But then, more coming. Where did they come from? Oh, over there. And they've got Ishtola in their sights, I do believe. We can't let her get hurt. No way. I shall not allow this. It is forbidden. It is forbidden because I said it, therefore it is it. Alright, they're down. And now that the distractions have been taken care of... Oh, Ishtola incognito. Yeah, that's right. She did say a lone Mikote miner should be a perfect target, so let's go ahead and speak with her. Yeah, she was in disguise and it worked perfectly. And I might say, Ishtola, you look really beautiful in that outfit.
Stubborn to the last as expected. You are unharmed.
Yeah, they couldn't touch me. Hey, Thancred.
A gang of sea-wolf thieves, and in Thanalan no less. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Sea-wolves? All of them?
Yeah, what are sea-wolves?
Aye, and all with the same taste in facial tattoos.
Blue, in case you were wondering. Well, they are the sea-wolves.
All thieves are a long way from home.
So, like, what are you two talking about?
Thancred, if you would be so good as to attend to the outstanding matters in Horizon, I have inquiries to make.
Of course. And as for Edie?
To Horizon, then. Fufalupa will want to hear about your meeting with thieves.
Yeah, I believe I can accommodate him. And so away goes Thancred. And so, now that that's done... More riding like a badass! But I think it is only appropriate that the Warrior of Light should be riding a white chocobo because it makes sense. Does it not? The white light of this gleaming chocobo is the perfect mount for the Warrior of Light. And so, back over to Fufulupa and complete this particular challenge. Alright, little man, what do you got to say to me now?
On behalf of the Brass Blades of the Rose, I thank you for your service to Horizon!
And I finally said Brass Blades right at last.
Ah, but we have not been idle. While you were afield, we succeeded in identifying the traitor within our ranks.
Awesome.
Is that so? Then by your leave, I should very much like to have a word with the fellow in private. No, I'm afraid that will not be possible. Regrettably, he, managed to subdue the unit of blades dispatched to detain him, and made good his escape.
Wow, really?
Oh, for the love of...
And how did he manage that exactly? Your men haven't been sampling that sumnus we confiscated, have they? Or was he a giant in disguise?
No, but he was quite strong. A sea-wolf, Limlinson born and raised, I believe. But do not worry, we will find him. You have my word on that.
I see. Pray keep me apprised of any developments. Of course. And Langshall again.
Yes, he's standing next to me. Understood.
Yeah. I feel our time together is at an end, my friend. Your services are required elsewhere. Awfully disappointing, I know, but one must follow where duty leads. You might try to look a little disappointed. Or do you mean to give me another one of your stoic nods? You do, don't you? Yeah, it's what I do. I'm the warrior of light. Silent but deadly. It's how I roll. So, let's go ahead and speak with Thancred again to take on the next challenge entitled The Mother of Exiles. Thancred has information on your next assignment.
The antecedent bid me to tell you to make for Vesper Bay, where young Alphanode awaits your coming most eagerly. It was he who requested your assistance. Some commotion or incident. I'm not privy to the details. While you do whatever it is that Alphanode has planned for you, I shall endeavor to track down all traitorous blast... and of course I go back to saying it wrong. To track down all traitorous brass blade. And when I do, you may be rest assured that we will have our answers.
And so... Riding like a badass, yeah! It may not be as agile as the classic old-school yellow chocobo, but this beautiful white mount certainly is a worthy ride for yours truly. Yeah, it's been a while since I've shown off the ride between Horizon and Vesper Bay. Checking out all the little Lalafels and what they do best. Buzzards that can't threaten us anymore because I'm so overpowered that they're too scared to take me on. And hey, that was a little mini chocobo. Yeah, if you're using a... oh, and even a green chocobo, sweet. Yeah, if you're using a Lalafell to play this game, you get a chocobo sized to your stature. And the same holds true if you're using a Rogadin as your Warrior of Light. So, return to Vesper Bay. Yeah, the scene we saw not that long ago is going to manifest itself. Because we are making our way, I do believe, here to the docks. Because, yeah, remember the boat from before that came from Doma? Or this game's version of it? Well, let's speak with Alphanode and get this next challenge on.
You are late. No matter. I know where our visitors are headed. From what I've been able to gather, this vessel belongs to a band of Domans who seek an audience with the Sultana. You are familiar with Domi, yes? In Othard? Well, like the rest of the nations of the Eastern Continent, it is ruled by the Gallian Empire.
Yeah, remember back to day 39 and day 40? The exiles, the refugees from Little Mhigo? Sounds similar, doesn't it?
Given our visitors' unannounced arrival, as well as the state of their ship, I suspect they did not leave their homeland under the best circumstances. Needless to say, I should be very interested to hear their tale, and more importantly, what they know of the current affairs of the state in the Empire. Such information could prove most useful. We would be fools not to pursue this opportunity, do you not think? Come with me to Uldar, Edie. Unless I'm mistaken, and I am rarely mistaken, we will find the Domans bickering with the Sultan Sworn on the Royal Promenade. You are uncertain of your role in the proceedings? Insurance. If our guests are not themselves Imperial agents, it seems fair to assume that they may be pursued by some, and if not, who better than you to have on hand in the event of an unforeseen diplomatic incident? Besides, I do enjoy your sparkling repartee. Satisfied? Good. I shall see you in Uldar.
And so, to Uldar, we follow. Yeah, it has been a very long time since we have set foot in Uldar for any reason. Because there's just been so much to do. So now, having returned to Uldar for the first time in what feels like forever, in fact it would have been day 91 would have been our last time to come to Ul'dah, because we were trying to stop the 3 leaders of the Eorzean Alliance from surrendering to the Guardian Empire. And since we succeeded in doing that, we can now move on to see what new circumstances are going on here on the Royal Promenade. And as the name implies, they are indeed refugees. As we walk in, we immediately go to cutscene. It matters not how many times you ask. Without the necessary permissions, none shall pass.
Pray understand, good sir. We have not the leisure to lodge a formal petition. Time is of the essence. All I ask is that you summon your superior. Allow me to plead my case. Surely you can grant us that small kindness?
Away with you and darken these doors no longer. I will not ask again.
You know not what you do.
And she shakes her head. And yeah, that is a female wearing that mask. And so in comes Alphinaud to intervene.
I gather your pleas fell upon deaf ears. A loyal man with a cold heart, I know his kind well. I hope that you will find me more to your liking. Alphinaud Leveilleur, at your service. A friend. Which I believe makes me very nearly unique. In this part of the world at least. Few indeed are your allies in Ul'dah, yet you will need some if you wish to endear yourselves to the wealthy and the powerful. Pray join me and my associate at Quicksand. There you may explain your situation to us, and we shall see if there's aught we can do to help.
Of course. And so, yeah. Screw you, guards! Just playing out now, screw you! Turning a blind eye to a poor woman wearing a mask. And yeah, she's wearing a mask. I can understand possible cause of suspicion, but still, that's no excuse! And yeah, here's the Aethernet shard. I don't know why I was going to turn away from it, but we want to go over to the Adventurers Guild because that's where the Quicksand is closest to. The Quicksand, for those of you who do not remember, is the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah. Much like the Carline Canopy is the Adventurers Guild in Gridania. So, let's go ahead and talk to Alphinaud and the refugee leader and her subjects. So let's sit down, have a drink, and a conversation.
We have traveled some several thousand miles across the sea from the nation of Doman, in hopes that we might find sanctuary in these lands.
And so this is Yugiri, leader of the nation of Doman.
Sanctuary, Lady Yugiri?
Well, given the circumstances.
Aye. Lying within Othard, Doman was under the dominion of the Garlean Empire, as I'm sure you are aware. When the War of Succession broke out in Garlemald, we espied an opportunity to free ourselves from the yoke of imperial oppression and took up arms. Only to be crushed. And so I gathered what few Domans escaped the reckoning and guided them hither to your shores.
A war of succession? Then the Emperor... Forgive me. You said that Doman was under Imperial rule, did you not?
Doman is gone. Razed to the ground as an example to the other provinces.
Yeah, rebellion will not be tolerated.
12 have mercy. And your people?
On a ship anchored in Vesper Bay, flying borrowed colors.
To deceive the Guardian Empire, I guess.
Many were complicit in the rebellion, or akin to those who were. They will not come ashore until I send word that it is safe to do so.
Fair enough.
I sought an audience with your rulers, but was summarily refused.
The lords of Ul'dah are not wont to entertain foreign refugees without suitable encouragement.
Indeed.
Mayhap I was
Especially to
foolish
someone
to
who's
expect
masked.
otherwise. But our supplies run low and we have young ones in urgent need of care. I have seen the tents outside the gates, however. We are not the first to seek asylum. nor will we be the last.
That is very true.
Be that as it may, Ul'dah is no friend to Garlemald. Your tale would stir the hearts of many men and women here. The Sultana and the Syndicate will not be so easily swayed, but I shall see that you are granted an opportunity to plead your case.
This is within your power?
He has an in.
Well, far be it from me to boast, but I do have the ear of certain influential individuals.
And yet he's so young.
I am in your debt.
Lady Yugiri, forgive me for observing, but your choice of attire seems like to evoke feelings of mistrust.
Would seem that way, wouldn't it?
Men are wont to fear the unfamiliar. We know this from experience. We seek only to spare the people of Ul'dah unnecessary disquiet.
I shall defer to your experience, then.
Alright.
I thank you for your understanding.
It seems I have urgent business with the Flame General. I leave our guests in your capable hands.
Up to me? Are you sure there, Alphanode? What am I supposed to do with a foreign dignitary? Well, I mean, I get that I've been the emissary to the Outer Seeds here, sure, but yeah, that's a bit too much for me. So, yeah, I guess I'll speak with Lady Yugiri and keep going. Actually, nah, we might as well, we started it, we might as well finish it.
If I may, sir, as I said earlier, we have been at sea for some several moons, and our supplies are all but spent. I have not the heart to repeat the tales of our tribulations, nor would it please you to listen to them. I think suffice it to say, however, sacrifices have been made. Though it shames me to beg for more when you've already offered so much, desperation compels me. Gentle sir, if you or your associates could spare any provisions, anything at all, it would go a long way to lessen the suffering of my people.
Well, looks like we may have an in with Momodi. Now we've spoken with Momodi in the past, I guess we'll speak with her again.
Hells, why didn't you say so, Edie? Of course I'll help. You couldn't have picked a better day to tell the truth. A wealthy merchant and his entourage were due to have a banquet here on the morrow, see? But just sent word they can't come, meaning I got a buttload of foodstuffs and no one to feed. Best of all, they paid for the lot of it in advance. Go on and call on Friardy and Catherine at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Tell them I said to ship the Little Prince's order to the Waking Sands. Oh, and if they argue, just show them those letters. That should set them straight.
Then this we will do. This we will do. Onward we go. Over to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, which is where the markets are here in Ul'dah. As the sun sets on another beautiful day in the desert of this game. And soon it will be setting on this particular episode because we're gone past half an hour now, so once we have taken care of the necessary requirements, we should bring the episode to a close. Alright, Fridori. She's in the business of feeding refugees now. I ain't normally one to question Miss Momodi's judgment, but that doesn't seem wise to me. Why are you gonna have to accept this letter? Too bad. I'll not speak for the children, but if you ask me, any man what can't earn a crust deserves to go hungry. Ouch. Yeah. Cold-hearted, are we? And then Catherine the Potwatch.
My, that's a rather odd request. Mayhap you misheard her instructions?
No, I heard them loud and clear, and I saw them in this letter.
You know, you shouldn't encourage them like this. They'll start to expect it, you mark my words.
Yes, they are quite cold here in Ul'dah. Unless you earn your way, you do not get anything. Of course, having spent so many years dealing with the refugees of Little Mhigo, their behavior is not all that surprising. So back to the quicksand. And we'll go ahead and speak with Miss Momodi and let her know that we got our provisions.
They didn't give you any trouble, did they? Good! Now go and tell Lady Yugiri it's all in hand.
Yeah. Though it's still giving me issues. But yeah, let's speak with Lady Yugiri.
I dared not hope for such magnanimity, much less expect it. Mistress Mimodi is generous indeed. I shall be sure to thank her most humbly.
And so, to another cutscene. Say what needs to be said. And Alphinaud is returned.
Lady Yugiri, I briefed the Flame General on your situation. I think you will be pleased with his reply. We have been granted an audience? Before the Sultana and the Syndicate both. We should return to the Royal Promenade at once. You have done much for us, Master Alphinaud. I swear we shall return the favour. Not as though, Lady Yugiri, for lot has been given. This small favour you fairly won with your words, and it is with words that you must win the favour of the Syndicate. Then I shall choose them with care. You will be accompanying us, yes? Good. Your presence may serve to remind the Syndicate of the true meaning of philanthropy, and that none thing so unpalatable will be required of them, assuming the Domans are willing to earn their keep. Come, the Flame General awaits us on the Royal Promenade.
Well, we'll have to leave that particular audience for another time, because we're going to bring this episode to a close, because now that we've sent them on their way... Oh, we can end it now. Well, you know what? Why not? We've come this far, and we might as well finish what we started. And far be it from me to leave something unfinished. Right, Rome Mithril? So back to the Chamber of Rule. Yeah, Rome Mithril. Still waiting on you to finish 3 games that you played 6 long years ago, and still haven't finished. Yeah. Keeps collecting more subscribers with the lies he gives to people. It's a crying shame. General, it's been too long. A pleasure, Edie. The others are already inside. Let's not keep them waiting. And so, into the chamber to meet with Sultana Nanamo ul Nanamo. And some other people of interest.
I, Yugiri of Doman, am honored to meet you at last, Your Grace. To mark this auspicious occasion, I should like to present to you the finest treasures our humble nation has to offer.
Gold, frankincense, and myrrh? No, I'm just kidding.
The circumstances which have brought me here today have divested me of both time and dignity. I come before you as a pauper in direst need of aid, to request that you grant my people asylum.
I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Be at ease, Lady Yugiri. Although I myself have heard the tale of your misfortune, I would ask that you recount it once more for the benefit of the others here present.
As you wish, Your Grace. For many years, my nation, Doman, suffered under the yoke of imperial rule, and my people yearned to be free. Thus, when a war of succession broke out in Garlemald, we sought to take advantage of the chaos and reclaim our liberty. Alas, our enemy proved less preoccupied than we had hoped, and our rebellion was put down in the most brutal fashion.
Those who survived, how many do they number?
Exactly.
More than 200 souls huddle within the cramped
Wow,
confines
that's a lot.
of our own galleon's hold. Yet this figure accounts for but one of a number of ships which escaped the purge.
So are more coming?
It is my hope that you will allow us all to dwell within your walls. Should that prove unfeasible, however, I humbly ask that you accept as many of my people as your resources allow. Pray understand, we do not beg a boon, but propose instead an arrangement. We would serve as soldiers or tradesmen until our debt is repaid.
What are the Syndicate's opinions on this matter?
This should be
I, for
interesting.
one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady Yugiri and her people strike me as an industrious lot, and there are parts of the city which have yet to be fully restored. If they are willing to work, I see no reason not to let them.
The head of the Mirage Trust is not known for his generosity. He sees profit in this.
It's Uldar, what were you expecting?
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees. To admit them would require a formal resolution. Shall we call a vote?
Well... Come on, you...
The law is the law.
Oh. We have a Lalafell wearing a mask. Why is that? And he's wearing Ida's mask. How did you steal it?
Tell me, are you blind or willfully ignorant? Even now, our streets are choked with the displaced victims of the Calamity and Alamigan refugees.
In other words, you don't want to add
They
to the burden.
live hand to mouth, subsisting on aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher. The wealth of Uldar is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you that these refugees are prone to violence and criminal activity? You have all read the reports, I think. Without homes or
Paint all
employment,
with the same brush?
It's only a matter of time before men grow desperate and take that which they imagine has been unjustly denied them. Yet, knowing this, you would have us swell their ranks. Mayhap you think the brass blades and the flames are not hard-pressed enough?
Some say the chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company passes Gil thrice daily. This may explain how he came to be the wealthiest man in Uldar. Or it may simply be that he's ruthless beyond reckoning.
That would probably explain why he stole Ida's mask.
Surely the Sultanate can support the few hundred domans Lady Yugiri represents. That our resources have been taxed, I do not deny. But we are hardly in danger of financial collapse. I move that an exception be made.
An exception, Your Grace? I am suddenly reminded of a similar debate some years ago regarding a number of Alamigan refugees, if memory serves.
Oh, did she reject them?
What were your words that day? Yes. The law is the law. And so our visitors remained in Little Alamigo. Mayhap our wise and benevolent Sultana would be so good as to enlighten us as to which other of our laws should not be upheld.
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
Yeah, unless you want to get crushed under the foot of General Raubon.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than gil.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Uldar's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril. One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy. How
Wow.
far the vaunted Mirage have fallen, both in repute and profitability, since he began employing refugees.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
Who knew that two Lalafells could pick such a big fight?
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote.
Yeah, you tell him, General.
To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
Well, we know who's definitely leaving. So, Lolorito is getting out of here. And he's gonna take some people with him. Yeah, the majority rules. And it rules against the Domans. Sorry, Lady Ugiri. So now what?
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Ugiri. As you have observed, however, my authority in such matters is regrettably limited. Without the consent of the Syndicate, I cannot act.
I understand, Your Grace. And I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, little Mhigo would now be thriving. Oh, that you should have traveled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
I believe they will.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the pretense of unity. The Monitorists have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to save that for another time. So, we bring this to a close. Plus a choice of dyes. Now, since I don't really care to use dyes, I think a good yellow dye will suffice. So, that's going to do it for this particular episode, because, yeah, we're coming up on 50 minutes and I didn't want it to go this long, but given the circumstances, these things do happen from time to time. But, we'll move on to more main story and, well, actually I want to save, now that we've gotten a good foothold in the main story for patch 2.2, I want to take on some of the new challenges that have opened up since 2.2 was introduced, as well as 2.3 and 2.4. Some of them will be out of my skill level at this point, but I also believe that there will be others that can be of benefit to me as well. So I want to start taking on some side quests starting in the next episode, so we'll do that. So, with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And when I join you again, we will rejoin General Reborn after we take the opportunity to explore some new locations. So until next time everyone, this is Matthew at Navora Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.